Imagine a world reeling from the devastation of a great war, a world of economic turmoil and political unrest. It's into this cauldron of chaos that a young, ambitious man named Adolf Hitler steps onto the political stage in Germany. His story, and the cataclysmic events that followed, would change the course of human history forever. Born in Austria in 1889, Hitler's early life was unremarkable. He was a struggling artist in Vienna, and later a soldier in the German army during World War I. The humiliating defeat of Germany and the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles ignited a fire of resentment within him, a sentiment shared by many Germans. With his powerful, almost hypnotic oratory skills, Hitler quickly rose through the ranks. He offered simple, dangerous answers to complex problems, blaming Germany's woes on various groups and promising a return to national greatness. He tapped into a well of public anger, spinning a tale of betrayal and a vision for a dominant, racially pure Germany. By 1933, the Nazi Party had become the largest in Germany, and Hitler was appointed chancellor. This was the turning point. Within months, he dismantled Germany's democratic institutions, declared himself Führer, or supreme leader, and established a totalitarian regime built on fear, propaganda, and brutal suppression of dissent. The world watched, with a mix of apprehension and disbelief, as Germany began to rearm, openly defying the post-war treaties. Hitler's ambitions were not confined to Germany's borders. He spoke of Lebensraum, or living space, for the German people, which meant territorial expansion into Eastern Europe. In 1938, he annexed Austria in the Anschluss, and later that year, under the guise of protecting German-speaking people, he took over the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia. European leaders, desperate to avoid another war, pursued a policy of appeasement, hoping to satisfy his demands, but it only emboldened him. The breaking point came on September 1, 1939. German forces, using a new, terrifying tactic called Blitzkrieg, or lightning war, invaded Poland. This act of aggression finally forced Britain and France to declare war on Germany, marking the official start of World War II in Europe. The early years of the war saw a string of stunning German victories. Poland fell in weeks then. In 1940, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, and France were all overrun. The British army narrowly escaped at Dunkirk, leaving continental Europe under Nazi dominion. Hitler seemed unstoppable. He launched the Battle of Britain, a massive air campaign to pave the way for an invasion. But the Royal Air Force bravely held them off, marking Hitler's first major setback. Hitler, blocked in the west, shifted focus to the east. In June 1941, he launched Operation Barbarossa, a colossal invasion of the Soviet Union. This decision would prove to be one of his most fatal errors. Initially, the German army advanced rapidly, reaching the outskirts of Moscow, but the brutal Russian winter, coupled with fierce Soviet resistance, ground the German war machine to a halt. The Eastern Front became a grueling war of attrition, consuming immense resources and manpower. Meanwhile, on December 7, 1941, Germany's ally, Japan, attacked the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor. This act brought the industrial might of the United States into the war, fundamentally shifting the global balance of power. The war was now truly a worldwide conflict, with the Axis powers of Germany, Italy, and Japan pitted against the Grand Alliance of Great Britain, the Soviet Union, and the United States. At the heart of Hitler's ideology was a horrific plan. As the war raged, the Nazi regime systematically carried out the Holocaust, the state-sponsored persecution and mass murder of some 6 million European Jews, alongside millions of other victims, including Romani people, Poles, Soviet civilians, and political opponents. This genocide, carried out in concentration and extermination camps like Auschwitz-Birkenau, remains one of the darkest chapters in human history, a chilling testament to the depths of inhumanity. The tide of the war began to turn decisively in 1942 and 1943. The Soviet victory at the Battle of Stalingrad was a devastating blow to the German army on the Eastern Front, from which they would never fully recover. In North Africa, Allied forces defeated German and Italian troops, opening the way for an invasion of Italy. The beginning of the end came on June 6, 1944. Over 150,000 Allied soldiers landed on the beaches of Normandy in France. Opening the long-awaited Western Front, it was the largest amphibious invasion in history. Fighting their way through fierce German resistance, the Allies began the slow, bloody liberation of Western Europe. At the same time, the Soviet army was pushing relentlessly from the east, closing in on Germany from both sides. By the spring of 1945, the Third Reich was collapsing. Allied bombers had reduced German cities to rubble, and the once mighty German army was a shadow of its former self. As Soviet troops fought their way into the heart of Berlin, Hitler, cornered in his underground bunker, finally faced the reality of his utter defeat. On April 30, 1945, he took his own life. A week later, on May 8, Germany surrendered unconditionally, and the war in Europe was over. The story of Hitler and World War II is a stark reminder of how charismatic leadership, when combined with hateful ideology and public fear, can lead to unimaginable destruction. It serves as a powerful lesson on the fragility of peace and democracy, and the vital importance of standing up against intolerance and tyranny. The world that emerged from the ashes was forever changed, leading to the formation of the United Nations and a new global order, built on the hope that such a catastrophe would never happen again. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel for more historical content. Your support helps us continue to share these important stories from our past.